Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is that you're watching this video. This video is accompanying a letter that we had sent home through the grade cards. And this letter went out to all of our freshmen and sophomores. And what we are attempting to do is try to explain the graduation process and the graduation pathways that are now open to all students that will graduate in 2023 and beyond. So that's this year's sophomores and this year's freshmen. Now, these new pathways were actually delivered to schools at the beginning of the 1920 school year. However, not all the details to all the parts of the pathway were completed by the state of Ohio until November-ish, I believe. And then at that point, schools also had to come up with some additional plans that go into the pathways. And those weren't completed by Buckeye Central, as well as other schools, until probably around January of last year. So while this plan has been out since the 1920 school year, it really hasn't been able to take effect until this year, because obviously COVID then happened in March of last year as well. We met with all all sophomores when they were freshmen last year as well, and tried to explain the bits and the parts, the pieces that go to this new pathway. And we also sent out a letter to parents as well. So now what we're hoping to do is to clarify all of that for parents via this video, the letter that you received, and also Mrs. Close has met with all of our sophomores and walked through this process, and she's met with all of our freshmen and walked through this process as well. So between the letter, this video, and your students, we're hoping that the new graduation pathways will be much more understandable by parents and families. So I should tell you this, if you're used to the graduation pathway of students come to Buckeye Central, they take X amount of classes, they pass those classes, well, those days are over. If you're used to kids coming to Buckeye Central, taking our classes, passing those classes, and then also passing a test, those days are over. And if you're even used to kids coming to Buckeye Central, taking classes, passing those classes, and then taking a number of tests, 7 to be precise, and scoring 18 total points on those 7 tests as the way to graduation, well, those days are over as well. That has been replaced by Ohio's new plan that, again, starts with the class of 2023 and beyond. I should tell you that this plan that they have replaced it with, while at times can seem overwhelming, really is student-centric. It really does put students at the center of graduation. Because what it does is it allows kids multiple different pathways to graduation based on who they are, what their interests are, and what they plan on doing after high school. So it's more than just a class, and it's more than just a test. They're really trying to not limit it and make it more of a comprehensible way for students to achieve graduation. So to help you with this, I'm going to share my screens, and I'm going to go to our homepage. This is the Buckeye Central website. This is our homepage. On this homepage, if you scroll down, you'll see towards the bottom here a thing from Mrs. Close. It's called Mrs. Close's virtual office. You can click on that, and this will take you to a link that goes to her office. But you can also find it as well over here on the left-hand side under school counseling. If you click on that, and if you click on her virtual office, she has spent hours putting together a pretty engaging virtual office that really does try to explain or provide the resources to the complexity and the total comprehensiveness of her job. Once you get to this website or this virtual office, there's lots of live links. If you hover over things, there's lots of live links. Where you want to go to is either freshmen or sophomores, 9th grade or 10th grade. And if you click on that, it's going to take you to a site specifically for that class. And here you're going to notice up here it says graduation pathways, but over here it has this too as well. Now this, I'm going to click on this for you, is the letter that was also sent home to you guys trying to explain these pathways. And really, as you go through this letter, there's 3 things that students need to do to graduate high school. And the first one is, as they say, is to cover the basics. Students will need to pass X amount of classes, and those classes are listed right here. So as you can see, they'll need to have 4 English classes, a half a year of health and a half a year of phys ed, and you can read that. But students will need to have all these classes passed, plus here at Buckeye Central, a few more, because this is the state mandates, not the Buckeye Central mandates. Here at Buckeye Central, we also have senior seminar. So there are a few other classes that you need to pass as well. But Mrs. Close has done a great job explaining to all of our kids. So first thing is take the classes that you have to take and to pass those classes as well. The second thing, they call it showing competency. That's what they call it. Now to help explain this, I'm going to go back to Mrs. Close's virtual room. And if you go back here and we click on pathways, you'll see it up here too. It has cover the basics, earn 21 credits, show competency as well. So what has to happen here to graduate is students still have to take tests to graduate. They still have to do that. And so really what's going to happen is there are 2 tests that your students will have to take in order to show competency and pass those tests. And that's going to be Algebra 1 and the English 2 tests. Now, your students will need to take all 7 tests still. There's 7 tests that students have to take between English, math, science, and history. But to graduate, they need to show competency in 2 of those, Algebra 1 and English 2. Now, the state of Ohio realizes that testing isn't everybody's strength. It's not. So if testing's not your thing and you don't do well in tests, then there's other things that you can do to show competency. There's actually 3 options for you. Option 1, besides passing those tests, is to show that you have a career focus, that you have a plan for a career post-high school. So part of that is, again, taking a test. It's called the web exam. And the web exam are tests that accompany a career tech class. So if you're taking agriculture here at Buckeye Central, which is a career tech class, it has a web exam. If you take any of our FCS classes here at Buckeye Central, which is a career tech class, it has web exams. If you are taking business here at Buckeye Central, which is a career tech class, it also has web exams as well. So part of what you can do is take a career tech class in a career that you're interested in a career that you may pursue after high school, and pass the accompanying test that comes along with that. Now you'll notice that you have to do 2 different things in option 1. So one of those 2 things could be passing that web exam. Another thing could be earning a 12-point credential, an industry recognized credential. So if you do not plan on going to college and you want to leave high school and get a really good job, then there's credentials that you can get that prove that you have the competency in that job that can also help you get a nice paying job as well. And those are called credentials, obviously. And you need to have a 12-point credential. Or the third thing here is, within option 1, is you could also get into a pre-apprenticeship. And you can also get into a work program as well. And that would be an option for you to show competency. So if testing's not your thing, that's fine. There might be a career focus for you that you want to utilize. Then there's option 2. If testing's not your thing, you can enlist in the military post-high school. So if you can show evidence that you've signed a contract with one of the armed forces, one of the branches of the military here in the United States, then that can be a way that you show competency as well. And then there's option 3. You could take some college credit pluses. You could take and pass CCP courses in math and or English. And if you were to do that, then you would find or show competency and find another pathway to graduation if taking the end of course test is not your strength. So again, there's 2 things so far we've covered. First one is you got to cover those bases. All right, you got to take all the classes here at Buckeye Central and pass all those classes that you were required to take and pass. Then you have to show competency. And the last thing you need to do is to show that you are ready, that you are ready to leave high school and be successful. And the readiness is done through what the state of Ohio has deemed as SEALs. There are certain SEALs that you can get to show that you are ready. And those SEALs are listed right here. From Ohio Means Job SEALs all the way down to the Student Engagement SEAL. And again, to show that, I'm going to hop back over to Mrs. Close's virtual office. And right down here are the 12 SEALs. Ohio Means Job SEAL, the SEAL by Literacy, College Readiness SEAL. You can read all those. You need, or your child needs, to earn 2 different SEALs. All right. Now, each one of these SEALs has certain criteria that you need to meet to earn it. And that's laid out by the state of Ohio, or that was laid out by Buckeye Central. So if you look at these SEALs, here's the first 6. Here's the military, all the way up to the honors diploma SEAL. There's 9. These last 3, number 10, 11, and 12, these are what are called local created SEALs. So Buckeye Central created the criteria to meet these SEALs. The other 9 SEALs, the criteria to meet those was created by the state of Ohio. Now that's important for 2 reasons. Number 1, you must earn 2 SEALs to graduate, as we said. But number 2, one of those 2 SEALs must be a state of Ohio criteria SEAL. The second of the 2 SEALs may be a Buckeye Central created criteria for a SEAL. So again, you must earn 2 SEALs. One of those 2 must be one of the SEALs created by where the criteria is created by the state of Ohio. 2 of them can be from the state of Ohio, that's fine. But one must be from the state of Ohio. The other one must come from the local created SEALs, which would be these last 3 right here. So when you go to Mrs. Close's page, when you get to this part of her virtual office, just simply click on any of those SEALs, and the criteria for that SEAL will show up. So in order to get the science SEAL, a student can earn a score proficient or higher on the biology end of course exam, or they can earn a score that is equivalent to proficient on the AP exam or the International Baccalaureate exam, or they can earn a final course grade that's equivalent to a B in a CCP class. That is a science CCP class. So one of those 3 things would earn your child a SEAL. So each one of these, again, has criteria. So when you're looking at all this, you're going through all this, simply click on the SEAL and look at the criteria. So again, 3 things that your child must do in order to graduate. Number 1, cover those basics right here. Cover them all. Make sure you earn all the credits as laid forth by Buckeye Central. Take those classes, pass those classes. Number 2, show competency. Show a competent score in Algebra 1 and English 2. Now, again, if testing is not your thing, there's 3 other options that you can do to show competency. CCP option, the military readiness option, and the industry recognized credential, or you have a plan for a job after your option. And then the third thing is to show readiness. And by showing readiness, you must earn at least 2 SEALs. One of those SEALs must be created by the state of Ohio. The criteria had to be created by the state of Ohio. At least one has to be, and the other can be, again, from the state of Ohio, or it can be one that was created by the staff here at Buckeye Central. I know this is a lot. I know that it could be a little bit overwhelming. So if it is, please contact Mrs. Close. That's what we're here for. Contact her. If she's not there, contact me. And we'll do our best to walk you through. If you have any questions, please give us a call.